I spent the last 6 months making super comprehensive TradingView indicators for smart money concepts, and I'm super excited to announce that they're finally available for access. Links will be in the description if you want to sign up for a trial, but in this video I want to give a quick first look at some of the main features. So currently we have 3 indicators. We have Smart Money Essentials, Smart Money Add-Ons, and the TTrades Scalping indicator. The first and by far the biggest indicator is Smart Money Essentials. You can think of this as the brain of all 3 as it contains some of the most popular smart money concepts. Here we're analyzing market structure in real time by tracking relevant highs and lows to see if we're either making a break of structure for a continuation or making a market structure shift to indicate a change in trend. We can also show areas of liquidity on the current time frame in the form of significant pivots or even relative equal highs and lows, and we can also visualize the current time frame's trend based on the colors that we're applying to the candlesticks here. Then we also have the ability to look for displacement and show the fair value gaps that were created as a result, filtered by whether they were accompanied by a break of structure or market structure shift, and options to filter out only those imbalances that were created with the strongest displacement to help focus our attention to where the energetic moves are coming from. And on top of finding order blocks and propulsion blocks from a bunch of different custom filters, we can also show when they're being respected or violated. So if we're trending up and we see that bearish order blocks are being violated, then we can look to see if bullish order blocks are being respected and allow price to continue its trend. We can also look for breaker block setups to show the popularized unicorn setup where you have a breaker and a fair value gap overlapping each other. You can see here we have a couple bullish examples where we sweep lows, close back over the highs, and we have a fair value gap that accompanies the breaker. We also have our premium and discount zones that track recent price legs and show the optimal trade entry area. And similarly, we can also spot those rejections from OTE to see where price may be starting to make a move from the 62 to 79% retracement levels. And lastly, we also have this confluence section where we can essentially build our own trade model to track when potential setups may occur. For example, if I want to look for setups with fair value gaps and order blocks that also have supporting market structure on the current time frame, I can make these selections and show the confluence history and the confluence table, and it'll plot instances where all those factors are lining up. Next, we have the Smart Money Add-Ons indicator, which is primarily meant to complement Smart Money Essentials and add some higher time frame analysis. First and foremost, we have SMT divergence, where we can track up to 3 symbols with a couple options to help detect divergences faster and be more flexible to price action that wouldn't normally be detected as divergence. We can also use open price lines so we can look to see if prices are respecting these levels. For example, midnight opening price right here, or the 10 o'clock opening price that indicates the beginning of a new 4-hour candle on US index futures. Some pretty standard higher time frame highs and lows that helps us stay mindful of larger levels where we can assume liquidity would be resting, and we can also use those time frames to spot new day, week, and month opening gaps, as well as fair value gaps and volume imbalances on up to 5 different time frames, where we can again filter by some of the strongest ones, and we can actually keep mitigated imbalances on the chart for potential inversion reference points later on. Now for the last indicator, I worked with my buddy TTrades to make something that fit his scalping style, largely related to inducement setups and optimal trade entries, and we're essentially checking stop hunts at relevant pivots for potential inducement setups or failures to displace through key highs and lows, and if price aggressively moves back into the original range and meets a couple other conditions, then we essentially highlight that as a potential inducement setup. We also have the option to use some trend-based criteria in here to help look for setups that align with the current trend, but this can also be used in a counter trend mode, which can do really well in choppy environments where we're failing to break out of the range. And of course, there's some logic for volume spikes as well. For those who remember my videos a few months ago on my own scalping strategy and how I incorporated volume spikes into inducement setups to determine if significant liquidity had been swept at these pivots, I find that it can really add some nice confluence to these types of setups if all the other factors are present. And similar to the Smart Money Essentials premium and discount zones, we essentially have another auto fib tool that tracks optimal trade entries after the inducement setup has occurred. Reason being, if price runs away and creates a big displacement leg, then we can track the 62 to 79% retracement. If our analysis is suggesting that a continuation might be underway, then we can look at these areas for potential continuation plays. And of course, some of my favorite examples are when 2 or more of these indicators are all lining up on the same time frame. For example, today on ES futures on the 1-minute chart, I normally don't trade this close to the market open, but if you notice how we respected this order block a couple times before seeing a nice price leg up, we saw a potential inducement setup from the TTrades indicator, which drew out this auto fib to track when price came down to the 0.62, where we had a nice SMT divergence between ES and NQ. And with all those factors combined, price saw a nice leg up for the rest of the morning. So I really am excited to be finally releasing these indicators. I put hundreds of hours into them over the past few months, and truly I've barely scratched the surface of what I want to accomplish with these. I have tons of ideas in the works for improvements and new features that will make these even more useful, and I'm super excited to be able to share those when they become available. But for now, if you want to try these out, feel free to check the link in the description to sign up for a trial. I have videos on pretty much all the topics covered by these indicators, but if you still have questions, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me on Twitter or Discord. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you next time.